So we have it. VG Gaming versus Newbee Game 1. I wasn't sure if that was the announcement in the house audio, but we'll be going into the bans and picks, and here we are. And already we have our first bans out, so hopefully the bans and picks go in favor of where you guys wanted this or thought this game was going to go. But let's see what the both teams can get. VG Gaming are going to be playing Dire, Newbee on the Radiant, and Ben, we've already got a Lycan and a Razor banned out by Newbee. They don't want to go versus a Razor. We just, you know, they didn't obviously listen to us because we were saying Razor's overrated, but they're like, nope. We're scared of Razor.
I think there are a couple more heroes more important than those two. It's probably Doombringer and Shadow Shaman in particular. Both these teams just need to take towers on very early. Shadow Shaman just transitions so well into that phase of the game.
Last time these guys played, that was at the group stage of this international. It was Super playing the Razor for VG Gaming, and he ended up 8 kills, 0 deaths, 8 assists, and 650 GPM. I'm going to call that a respect ban.
Yeah, I mean, Super's really known for that Razor, so we'll see Death Prophet ban as well. Newbee have kind of taken this approach where they want to leave the draft wide open with these picks. Force out a Doom ban. Doom does not get banned. And Shadow Shaman, the pick, I would say one of the most successful pick of at least the playoff stage of the event.
Yeah, one of the strongest supports, certainly just because, you know, it's in terms of being able to put out damage on lanes or being able to team fight, it's great, but also when you hit level 6, you're able to kind of company up with another hero that could push towers down. So the wards have just been a huge deal here for the Shadow Shaman. So no surprise really first pick for Newbee. Ben, where would you go if you were Vici? You've got 2 now.
I think Doom. Doom for sure for ROTK. They also like to pick some unusual support suit. They've been going with Earthshaker, but that's definitely a little bit later on. They have their options open for offlaner though. There's Tidehunter, Faceless Void, and Doombringer is the big 3. So snag up one of those and then go with your strategy from there.
I think Newbee put themselves in a really good position with the first pick Shadow Shaman because they know Doom and Tide are both probably the top tier offlane of this tournament, and they guarantee they get one of them. They say, look, if you want Doom, you can take it. We'll grab the Tide probably with their second pick, or vice versa. If Vici get the Tide, they can take the Doom themselves.
Besides VG Gaming, if they only have actually one hero that they go to often, which is the Shadow Shaman, with 60% of their picks, everything else is under 50%. So they're taking the pick that they really want to take every time. So as much as this is a pick, it's also kind of a ban to what VG Gaming is going to play. If you look at what they also play, Razor and Morphling are also on the top there, but you don't want neither of these heroes first because Razor is banned, and Morphling is not a hero that you want in your first 2 picks. So I agree with that, and maybe we'll see a Doom, maybe we'll see a Tidehunter, but right, there's still a possibility. And there's a Doom and the Shadow Demon.
Okay, the Shadow Demon is a really early pickup. VG Gaming, one of the few teams still running that kind of traditional Shadow Demon plus Leshrac support duo. One of those combos that kind of became extinct, but the fact that FY and Famery can actually roam around the map, get first blood in so many games has really made the combination work fantastic.
Yeah, Leshrac's substitute for Shadow Shaman just transition with a Diabolic Edict, and they also just roam around the map very, very well. And FY and Famery, look out for those too.
Do you think Newbee even banned the Leshrac here, like when they get to the second stage, or?
It depends on what they're scared of. They're clearly scared of the push if they're banning Death Prophet on the first phase, or you can look at it, hey, they're leaving the pool wide open so they can snag this, and we can also get a really, really good hero in our second pick, which usually you only see in the first one for each team.
Are you concerned about picks coming from VG Gaming like Invoker or Centaur, since we have the Shadow Demon in there? This is not something that VG Gaming runs often, but once you get a Shadow Demon, you can get secure kills with either of these 2 heroes. Any thoughts about that?
I'm actually surprised that Centaur hasn't been picked up a little bit more. He's very good against Skywrath. He's decent against Razor too, and just great counter initiation and tankiness in general. He provides a front line that is very necessary. He's also decent in sustained pushes too. I don't think it has room for it in VG's lineup though. They almost always put ROTK on the Doom.
Yeah, I guess you could do like the Super Invoker mid here, but I mean right now the problem is for VG Gaming, Super's most comfortable heroes are being banned out. All of these bans are pretty much targeted at him. Razor, Death Prophet, now Viper at the 3rd ban as well. Super's, like, what other heroes has he actually played in this tournament so far, Bruno?
He used to play a lot of Dragon Knight, but...
Yeah, but not anymore. I'm actually checking right now for Super. I'll get back to you there. As we see the Luna pick. The Luna pick again, Shadow Shaman, Luna, lots of pushing, but also a lot of team fight as well. Once that Luna gets the 3rd or 4th item, she starts to become scary, and is one of the best tower sieging or base sieging carries just because of those glaives. Are you agreeing with this Newbee pick compared to what they could have picked otherwise?
I expected the Tide. I'm a little surprised, but I imagine Newbee have something planned here. And Zhao Weight's not just been playing the Tide, the Doom. He's, I think, 5-0 on the Nature's Prophet. So if they want to pull out something like a Nature's Prophet, they can. They already have enough push power with these two heroes alone, though. So even if he ends up on a Clockwork type hero, Newbee will be more than comfortable with this draft.
Yeah, and coming back to your previous question, Brewmaster, Viper are the two most big hero for Mu. Templar, Assassin, and Invoker straight down after that, so there's still that
for Super, though.
Oh, sorry, I thought,
Right.
yeah, I was talking about Mu. Super is easier.
We like the Mu stats as well, though, Brew.
Yeah,
it's good. We want to know everything here.
Actually, yeah, he has a very limited pool of heroes, only 7 throughout the tournament. Razor, Ember Spirit is the other one that's missing. He's 2-0, but again, 7 games with Razor, 2 or less with everything else. A specialist, if you might call him that way.
That's I mean, we talk about how Razor do well, but EG and Vici Gaming, like, it was their most picked hero, both of those two teams. So.
Well, look at this. Okay, this is a funny stat. Super, picking Razor, 4-3. Not picking Razor, haven't lost a game in 10 games. 8, sorry.
Newbee just helped them. They banned it out.
Cool.
So we're going to have a Nature's Prophet as our final ban as we go into the next round of picks. Shadow Demon and Doom thus far for Vici Gaming. Is it important they pick up their offlaner now, or do you think they need to secure that mid since a lot of the bans have been focused there? But probably you can just wait for your mid hero and pick it last.
I think there are more choices for me than there are for offlaners right now. If you want to make an offlaner, yeah, you just get it right now. Because for me, you can go elsewhere. Again, it depends. Super, apparently a specialist. Because Razor is removed, he can probably go wherever he wants right now. That's the relief of having your best hero banned, if you want to look at it.
I think Vici Gaming has left Faceless Void in the pool because they saw Newbee play with Xiao Wei's Faceless Void the other day. And to be honest, he didn't really do that much with the Chronosphere. He probably could have not crashed the Chronosphere the entire game and they still would have won. So they're trying to force Newbee into the situation where, like, hey, Faceless Void's an enticing pick, but they kind of want him to pick it even though they know that they're not good with it.
But they also have that Shadow Demon, which is a nice counter a lot of the times to a Faceless Void in terms of just if one of your teammates is in a Chrono, you're able to disrupt them, and then that is enough time to kind of make that Chrono, if it's not great and hits kind of like 2 to 3 people, save what could be the target that they're looking to kill. So I definitely think maybe, yeah, you're right, they kind of almost want them to pick Void, and maybe the Shadow Demon in the first pick, as that is also going to go in their favor as a defensive hero. But
it might come back to bite them, though, because they had picked the Weaver as their 3rd pick, and Weaver's very susceptible to Faceless Void. And one interesting thing about these two teams is they like to push a lot, but they don't actually like Pugna. I don't think either of them picked up Pugna during the group stages.
I think Vici Gaming did.
Oh, they did?
Once or twice. But the TA picked one of Mu's best heroes, and Vici Gaming to me have 2 styles. It's when they put Mu on a hero like TA, Queen of Pain, and he kind of plays a more carried style mid hero, or they put him on the tempo control, the Alchemist, the Dragon Knight, these kind of initiators. But the fact they picked the TA means Zhao Wei, I don't think he's on a Faceless Void. I think he's going to be playing the Centaur, the Clockwork, these type of kind of offlane initiators that the team's lacking right now. But Mu on TA is a good way to go.
And one of you guys called it. They got their Leshrac there, so we're going to have a little bit of a roaming duo with the Shadow Demon and Leshrac. What does that need to do for the team of Vici?
Get first blood. That seems to work well for them.
Get their T1 tower early in their safe lane. That's probably even more important because Vici, they just take that down and then start moving around the map, smoking mid a lot. TA is pretty vulnerable to that too. Generally, Refraction will save you against ganks, but not versus Leshrac.
So Ben, I was meaning to ask you, there are sometimes, metagame changes a lot, right? So there are sometimes that priorities change as well. Some teams choose to relinquish their tier 1 towers. Let's not defend them. Let's secure that we can make a trade-off somewhere else by getting a erosion, by getting a kill. Tier 1 towers are a liability, while some other teams just like defend their towers and make sure that all of them are alive until the end. What do you think is best to do right now?
I think the T1 tower, you can pretty much just let go. The T2, you have to defend that T2 though. There's just no question about it. And yeah, T1, I think Vici's actually pretty good about defending most of their T1s though. They usually actually don't go for trades like that, as far as I can tell. Or if they do, they have such a far superior pushing lineup that the other team will always lose out in that aspect.
Newbee definitely right now need to go for trades. They have very little to counter push at all. Like, they haven't picked up their offline. They still need the support, which is where maybe something like Earthshaker could fit in to go with the Shadow Shaman. But as far as defending that early T1 tower push from a Shadow Demon, Leshrac, Weaver, it's not going to happen with these heroes so far.
I'm really surprised that they still haven't picked their offlaner right now.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
So can go off lane. can clear waves somewhat, but really you want to keep him getting a lot of XP and you want to get that blink dagger. So it's kind of adds more to the team fight than maybe the saving of the tier 1 towers. And
really
whether the puck's going to be online by the time the fight comes their way, that's you know, to be written.
It's all about controlling that Weaver as well, because if you look at the other hero, TA with the slow trap does nothing to the Shukuchi, and even Shadow Shaman, if you cannot pop the Hex right away, you can only you have to only rely on Shackle to stop that Weaver. So putting that Dream Coil right there, make sure that there's no such much free mobility for that hero that can cause so much trouble 30 minutes into the game.
All right, and we're going to have the final ban for Vici Gaming. It's going to be an Earthshaker, as you said, Gods. You know, are they going to pick up that Earthshaker to help the counter push? Vici Gaming see it as a potential threat. They're going to be able to ban it out, so that won't be going over to Newbee. And now we go over to Newbee's final ban before the last picks. Where should they go, Ben? What should they be concerned about, do you think?
Just superheroes, though.
Superheroes?
Superheroes.
Nice. The Ember, that's a superhero.
And the Puck, I think, was actually a really smart pick, though, because it's actually one of the few heroes that won't actually die to a Shadow Demon Leshrac combo. So if usually they'll die to a Shadow Demon and Murana, which is what we're seeing a lot more, which is why Puck as an offlaner has kind of phased out. But now he's back in.
And we're going to have the Dragon Knight as our final pick for Vici Gaming. That will be going mid. We assume that will be a superhero. And, you know, that's a huge amount of armor, great amount of push. And Vici, it looks from this combo, if they get a decent start, they can really just roll with it. And game 1 could be going their way. So Newbee, you know, they can't get the Earthshaker. Final pick. It's a tough one.
It is so crazy as well, because Shadow Demon Leshrac, roaming support, they will try to create space. They will force the mid to rotate, and that's exactly what the Knight wants. And here, the Banana Chen, we're going to have a jungler.
Yeah.
In Newbee.
Banana's been playing a lot of Enchantress throughout the tournament, but banned on the first stage. They go for a last pick Chen, and I think this is something which Vici Gaming would have been slightly caught by surprise by.
Yeah, definitely. And now we have all 10 heroes getting ready to load in for our first game here of the International. Vici Gaming versus Newbee. I'll be interested to see exactly how Banana does on that Chen. As Gods mentioned, we've seen him pick up an Enchantress plenty of times. And he's done absolutely amazing in terms of his rotations. What does the Chen offer, Ben, that the Enchantress doesn't to this lineup?
Just more push. It depends on where you really want to hit your stride. Chen's, I say, like post 10, 15 minutes, and Enchantress is really all about that 1 through 10, but it's just so difficult to roam against the Shadow Demon and Leshrac, and they don't want to put Banana at that risk.
Who are the big players that you're looking for here from the Newbee and Vici Gaming? Well, actually, it looks like the teams are already loading in, so I'll come back and get your thoughts after the game, Ben. But let's go into game number 1 of the International, the semi-finals, Newbee versus Vici Gaming. Over to the commentators, LD and Lumi.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game of the main event here live at Key Arena at TI4. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Lumi. Lumi, what a way to start it off. Vici Gaming versus Newbee. We're already getting aggressive. Vici heading down to the south, and Newbee going to be potentially clashing them with them. We could have a bloodbath here as game 1 gets underway.
Well, Vici Gaming only roaming into a 4 hero, but they do have the better level 1. They are looking for the disruption. Xiao 8 going to fire off a pot shot as everybody will retreat.
Yeah, Howard already skilled the R, so no mini stun to getting close, and generally we will see that on a level.
They actually want to come right back in there. I'm not sure whether you want to take it to fight. Disruption's going to fly up. We're going to see Smurf. It's going to fly out. Moot's going to get hit, but he did get the refraction off first blood on the back line. It's going to go towards Banana, and looks like that's going to be it
now
for the
Sylar
fight.
on the run. The chase continues. No Lucid Beam yet, and he'll be forced to tango through here. So Vici Gaming off the bat. The chase continues. One more right click. Do they have it? How's a little bit faster, but the Sakuchi will cool down, and Sylar can make his way out. Not the start you're looking for if you're Vici. You want to get into the jungle, start dropping down wards to punish the Chen pick, but I mean, aside from the first blood, they haven't been able to ward off the Chen at all, and he's going to have a really fast start. Banana, to me, at his best when he's on junglers, we've seen a lot of Enchantress play. He's played it the most out of any player at this tournament, and he's going to have free reign over the woods.
Yeah, the quick boots is going to be key for Banana because he's going to be move alongside his creep much quicker, and center, forward block, whatever he's going to find, he's going to guarantee that first blood much easier as well. Lanes are coming in. It's going to be a Sylar off lane. Many times in the past when we see Sylar, he's going to be a core player. He farms a ton, but I don't think he's going to get much creep kills here on the bottom lane.
Well, certainly not after the way the lane started. They do have an extra sentry available on Sangsheng, and the thing to remember when you're looking at this off-lane Weaver is Sakuchi is a really long cooldown at the early level. So if you use it and you get caught by his shackles, you could be in trouble. But Vici, I think the team that uses dual roam the most effectively in all of TI thus far, and they're already at it again, heading towards the bottom rune. They want to try and turn around this slow start. Will they find anyone? Banana, meanwhile, marches towards mid with a Centaur. And they will drop down an Observer on the high ground. They're going to get some vision here in a second of Sangsheng, but can they get in close? Sylar is waiting, still only level 1. He really doesn't add much to this gank, but it looks like they'll go for it anyway. They head towards the Shaman. They do get revealed, and now Sangsheng claritying up. They'll tango through and they commit to Hao, but it's an air ball from Vici, and now a lot of wasted time for them. Well, meanwhile, you see the Chen, Banana happily farming the woods. They'll hit level 2 here, and there's really no pressure on these lanes. TA, often a hero we see teams try to gank early before the refraction gets leveled up, before the traps come out, but well, with that failed gank, Mu gets a little bit extra breathing room.
I'm very surprised that Vici chose to lane the way they did, because I believe that Weaver beats a puck fairly easily in a 1v1, but on the top lane, you can see that Xiao is pretty much dominating the ROTK, at least in the harass war. Last hit, they're pretty even as well. I think regardless, if he has Xiao up top, he would have actually farmed better and also push Xiao out of the lane. So fairly interesting laning, and you can see that it's not really working out here for Vici Gaming.
The thing that's really hurting the Doom as well is there's actually a Radiant Observer Ward blocking the big camp. So if RTK, if this orb hits, Xiao might commit, and he walks right back in. No, he pops the Scorched Earth. That should be enough with the Stout Shield. Xiao's really going to have to dive deep for this one, and he won't find the opening in the end. But this Observer Ward, Lumi, it means the Doom has to abandon the lane if he wants to go into creep, and that is one of the reasons why we see Xiao off to a great start here top.
Yeah, Xiao will continue to have that great start because he's going to hit that level 6 very quickly. Look towards him actually leveling up Raining Shift, and maybe prioritize that once he hits level 6, 7, or 8, because, well, you want to use that spell to gank Sylar on the bottom lane. He's still only level 2, and might be in a little bit of trouble now as we do see Satyr Tormentor coming in, just doing harass.
You know, I'm really concerned for Vici Gaming because to me they're arguably the team that's most reliant on having a good laning stage in this tournament. And the reason they did so well is they had it. FY Fenrir, every smoke gank connected. They were picking a lot of Skywrath Mage, a lot of aggressive supports, and it just felt like they never missed. But not only do they give up the first blood, the first gank's not going their way, and their supports aren't getting levels. You look towards the jungle, there's no stacks here, something that Doom can take advantage of later on. Even a hero like Dragon Knight can with the Breathe Fire spam, but, well, it looks like they're going to go for another jump. They've got a smoke on Fenrir. Boots and Bottle now heading towards mid. Do they go bottom again? It's just such a hard lane to gank at this stage. Sylar only level 2. He just doesn't bring much.
I think ganking mid's going to be much easier, even though you have to deal with refraction. You do have DK giving you that secondary stun, but
they go bottom again. They're going to make their way in soon, it appears. Still waiting. Now the smoke, not spotted out by the Radiant, but there's backup inbound. It's Banana. Dire Observer Ward has spotted this rotation, and with him on the lane, they really just can't fight into it. You've got Luna Aura, 3 ranged heroes, and a creep. You're just not going to win that fight. They've got to hope that the Chen leaves the lane, but if these 3 stay together, then Vici Gaming supports really can't do anything. They have no lightning here to stop the push. There's no shadow poison, and Weaver's not the best counter push. You see he gets zapped twice, and Sylar loose and beamed as well. He's got to be salved up. It's more wasted time for Vici. They just seem to have no answers for this early game push, but they'll try and turn it now with a stun off the mark. Fenrir just a little bit too late, and now the turn may come. One right click, nearly chunking Fenrir down a quarter of his HP pool. Meanwhile, top lane, there's a bit of a dive from Xiao. He's going to commit to this one. RTK caught out. It's not your first blood, but it's your first 1v1 kill of the main event here at Key Arena. And, well, this lane is really, really not going his way.
Getting a 1v1 kill is so huge because not only you get the golden level advantage, you also put pressure on the enemy supports. You force them to rotate and help that lane. If you look over to Xiao, he's got that phase boots. Not exactly your standard boots upgrade for a puck, but it's going to allow him to dominate that lane much
It's the
harder.
snowball boots. It's the boots you get when you're ahead, and you just keep on crushing your lane.
Yeah.
Well, RTK, again, this also goes back to not having a creep. You imagine having the HP regen creep right now, the Satyr, you get some extra armor from the Wildkin, and the lane's a lot more sustainable, but this ward has really opened up this top lane, and now RTK, well, he's still going to have Doom quickly, but really needs to go and help out these other lanes right now. Your Dragon Knight holding his own mid, but with the start the supports have had, they might be playing 2v5 through the mid game.
Pretty much. I mean, if you look over the Fenrir and FY, they don't have boots. They're moving very slow. They have used 2 Smoke of Deceit already. should they want to burn that last smoke, that's fine, but I'm not really sure whether they're going to get a gank. I think what they're really waiting for is Super to hit level 6 on the mid lane so he can actually initiate with his ranged Dragon Tail, but...
There's no point in Diabolic Edict, though. We often see this from Leshrax. With the start they've had, maybe he's thinking, I just need something to deal with the push that we know will come from the Chen and the Luna soon enough. But the result is they have nothing really to burn through Refraction. They're going to have to do it with the good old-fashioned way, with some pure right clicks, and well, that's not going to be very quick.
Yeah, I think the early game storyline that we've been painting is that Newbee very far ahead thanks to the laning stage, but how will Vici recover, especially with the heroes that is quite weak during the mid game? Sylar not going to do much on his mid game hero. Doom, well, you really need like a big item, whether it's a mech or a blink dagger. Sometimes we even see Doom going Midas, and that's not going to help you against push it from Newbee. So how will Vici Gaming recover?
All bottom lane, they found Sylar. They started off with a Lucifer Beam. They get in close with the Shackles, and they will zap him down. Great initiation, and now the smoke. This is going to be Vici Gaming's last smoke for some time. 4 minutes pulling down on that. They're even bringing in Super. He's got a haste room. This is the time to turn it, and they go straight for Hao. He's got the Eclipse. Can they burst him down quick? He's thinking about it. Not going to go for yet. They'll disrupt the Chen, and now they catch him in with the Shackles on the retreat out. Hao gets the kill. He sticks around, but not long enough to get killed off. Now the trade. They look for Fenrir. Can they wipe the whole lane? No, not quite, but top lane, meanwhile, there's a Doom onto Xiaoyin. He's run down by ROTK. They get some redemption here, but it still comes at a heavy cost, losing another core in the Dragon Knight.
I think the key gank is that is Hao survived with like 10 health running away and dropping that huge Eclipse. That Shackle range looks so far, but hard gank, they didn't make it work, so another kind of knock against Vici Gaming. How will they recover during this early to mid-game phase?
That is just so difficult when you're up against Luna, because if you're in range for a Lucent Beam, like you're basically in experienced range, it's nighttime, that's not going to help you against her. She's got great night vision, and as soon as the Lucent Beam comes out, the Shaman has boots and just walks up and goes to work. Speaking of boots, he's already got Arcanes. What a start. You've already got your wards online from the Shadow Shaman. Level 6 can come soon on Banana, but has access to 2 creeps, and we're about to hit that point where Newbee start taking some towers. Maybe not a full commitment yet, but you do see Hao bottom lane. He's grouped up, the Bassie's activated, and now the question comes, it was posed during the draft, where's the counter push? They get some from the Dragon Knight here, but it's not much, and Doom offers you even less.
Well, I think it really has to come from Finrar. He's got the lightning, he's got the splitter, but does he have
level 1 lightning?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Does he have the level to keep spamming the spell? And it looks like he does not. The key levels, like you said, level 6 on Shadow Shaman, and soon to level 7 on Chen.
And here come the wards, and they go in on super mid lane. They're going to deploy a trap for this one. They don't even need to kill him. They just drive him off the tower, and now the tower's there. There's 2 quick ones claimed by Newbee as they just continue rolling forward. Already up 6.5k gold, 5k experience. We're barely 8 minutes in. This is one of the hottest starts I've ever seen a team have on the main stage here at TI, and well, Newbee keep on rolling. They're going to truck forward to the mid lane. There is a Doom online, but who do you Doom here, Lumi? You're up against the Chen. He can just look to heal that hero, send them back. Hand of God coming soon. And there's 3 cores to bring down. This is not a good way for a Doom to engage.
If they want to engage, they have to engage in the next 30 seconds because Eclipse is coming down soon. Once they have Eclipse, there's no way you're going to stop Newbee from pushing your tower. Here comes the chain creeps as well. That's another issue they could be dealing with. Normally, when you see a Shadow Shaman draft, the team that has a Shadow Shaman, when they don't have Master Wars, they back off. This is not a good sign to be. They're not backing off. Here we go. We're going to see a Dumoio move. They want to bring him down right in the get-go. Can they actually bring him down? Half HP. He's going to get sent back. I think he will be fine. Meanwhile, though, it's going to be Vici Gaming on the retreat. RTK dies to a beam. How, though? He's dropping very low. He will have a Eclipse.
As Eclipse can turn this one around. Super still chasing. The Doom will clean up the TA at long last. It was a big commitment there, but they get more. They look for Sylar. Can't quite find him. Puck will jaunt away. And so in the end, a 2 for 2. But Doom was used, and your wards are coming off cooldown. So what Newbee can do here is just wait for Luna to respawn and go, and this time you go with the wards. And in the end, Lumi, they still take the tower mid lane, and it goes the way of the Luna.
Yeah, the key item to point out is that Xiaoyin, if you look at his current goal, 1865. Once he gets up to 2150, Blink Dagger will be purchased, and that's the initiation that Newbee was lacking up to this point. A blink, a silence into orb, and a trap on top of that. Vici is stuck there, and they're going to be eating Eclipse, they're going to be eating Master Rewards, and it's not looking good for Vici Gaming. I feel like I've been saying that for a long time for Vici, but they did at least trade evenly in terms of hero kills. But yeah, they need to get something going, whether it's a smoke gank.
And there's more. There's more than just that. The mech's now online, and Newbee go towards top. They're going to bring 4 here. And this really reminds me a lot of Well, classic LGD. At one point it was, well, lose the lanes and still win the game. But that was really a TI3. You go back to TI2 and they just won from the laning stage. They just take over the opponent's lanes, bring in an early mech from Xiao8 and on the Nature's Prophet and go from there. But, well, it comes this time for Banana on the Chen. And the momentum begins top. Systematically, Newbee just taking tower after tower. And where's the reply from Vici? They don't really counter push. They've got Dragon Knight, but without his ult, you've only got 1 point in Edict from Fenrir. This will probably be a trade for them, and considering the way the game's going, I think a trade is great, but it's going to be a two tower push from Newbee.
Yeah,
they're not stopping.
A trade for now is good, but you're right. Master Rewards will be committed for the next push. Heck, if Master Reward is saved because nobody defends the tier 2 tower top for Vici Gaming, then Newbee could start looking, maybe even thinking about high ground, maybe taking that Roshan. But it looks like we're going to see a fight very soon.
And they're running a tri-core with a Chen backing them up. And I really want to emphasize this. You have a Doom. You Doom one hero, normally they're out of the fight. That's not the case against the Chen. If you Doom the Chen, then the tri-core just goes on you, and they're very farmed already. And if you don't Doom him, then he sends back Hands of God, heals, whatever it takes to keep them alive. So really, I'd say you had at least 4 Doom targets. And frankly, they've held the wards. They might just be going for it now.
I think they are. They're setting up a tornado that's going to fly a bit slow. Here comes a Mass Servant Ward.
You got to focus these down, but they can't quite. The puck orbing forward. Now a Lucid Beam. Now the Blake in. Xiao8's going to go. He drops the coil. Super's still alive, though. He lives through this for the time being. Nice defensive disruption. But Leshrac, the first man down. Newbee still in full force. The wards all kept healthy. And they just begin blinking, chipping, chunking away on this tier 3 top.
Double tornado going out on the high ground right now.
Another Blake, another kill. They're wiping him. Newbee crushed through. This is going to be the first lane of racks if there's no buybacks, and they don't even have it. DK's 50 gold short. You're doomed 250. Newbee are just running a freight train right through Vici Gaming land.
Fenrir is too afraid to walk up there. He needs to drop the lightning. He needs to drop his AoE spells to repel the push, but every time he comes up, the puck, you're worried about him. You have to worry about the Cyanide trap. Well, now you have to worry about big creeps in your base, because when you lose the racks, you have to deal with a lot more. And I mean, I think Sylar, what can he do at this point? His hero is just out of the game at this point, right?
Yeah, whether he was a Weaver, the other big hero I thought they might go for in the draft was the Morphling, because they pick up the Shadow Demon and the Doom, which in some ways protects the Morphling pick, but it wouldn't have mattered. A Morphling wouldn't be doing anything in this situation either, and it really goes how Vici Gaming normally play. They draft almost exclusively heavy roaming supports, and they almost always connect on those ganks. That's how they did so well in the group stage, but if you can dodge those ganks, or better yet, get a first blood, and then just push at them with 3 or 4 with a level advantage, this kind of draft just has no plan B. The only thing I could see Vici Gaming even looking for at this point is just finding pickoffs with the Doom, but how are you going to do that? There's no blink up on him. Your Shadow Demon and Leshrac are basically food for any of the cores on Newbee, even the Shaman. So their options are limited, but if they let Newbee get to the base again with the wards, Lumi, it feels like it's an inevitable second lane of racks.
I love to hand him Midas purchase on how. I mean, he is so far ahead at this point, but somehow if Vici Gaming can hold the push for the next 20, 30 minutes, Hao says, well, I got the hand of Midas for the late
20, 30 minutes?
No.
They're smoking now.
Maybe this game will end in the next 5, if that. But here comes that smoke. The Blink Dagger is going to be key here.
I think it just takes one more good fight. You have one good fight, and they have some traps laid down here. They've got the vision. Xiao8 pounds to pop, and he will go in with the cloneout. Actually finds FY, but the ward's deployed on top of everyone, and they attack from the high ground. A great split earth. Will it be enough to turn this one? Sylar caught out. He just melts. Super's got to retreat as well. The swarm continues to tick. And, well, it is doing a little bit to Sangsheng. Kept alive for now, but only for now. Directorate out to prove something. G. You know, coming into this match, Lumi, I felt Xiao8 had underperformed, as well as Newbee played in those 3 games in the bubble race. His individual play was not the Xiao8 we're used to seeing, but in this game, he was the director. He not only won his lane, the calls were perfect, the movements were everything you could ever ask for, and there was just no answer.
Yeah, he missed the last stream core, but it didn't matter at that point.
He did miss the last one.
Trap was so good. And that was one of our quickest wins at the TI4.